你的名字到底要怎么念？
高丽芬。
好，所以菜是你自己，所以菜是你自己打的。
对啊，因为从小就大家都会认出来，你就习惯了。
Well, hello everyone. Well, today I'm gonna walk you through how to do a portrait photo shoot in an overcast day, because that's what I encountered this time. And this is also the first time I use my Minotla X500, and I use both 56mm and a 135mm lens. But I primarily use 56 because 135 is kind of too long for the type of work that I do, because it's a pretty crowded area. There's a lot of folks walking around, so if I were using 135, there may be some people passing by, so it's not that convenient to use 135 lens under that kind of circumstances. But 56 is kind of that sweet spot. I haven't tried 85 on a film camera before. Maybe I'll do it sometime in the future. But you know, now 56 seems pretty good. And also this is a focal length that I'm familiar with, because back when I'm purchasing my first prime lens, I got a Sigma 30mm and I use it on an APS-C camera, so that gives me an full frame equivalent to 45mm. So I'm really familiar with the focal length around between 40 to 50, 55-ish, around that area. This because I grow up with that focal length. I shoot solely with that prime lens for a long time, probably for two or 3 years, because I busted my kit lens. I somehow managed to drop it onto the ground, and the barrel is distorted, it's slanted, so it's no longer usable. So I stick to that lens for quite a long time. And yeah, here's some photo, and I will show you guys some sequence before I take the pictures or after I took the pictures. Alright, let's enjoy the photo shoot. When in this kind of overcast day, I try to look for interesting shadow or interesting environment, and I try to blend it in and have the model have interaction with the environment, because you know, when I'm traveling for 2 hours to get there, I don't want to make it look like it is shooting in a studio, because I could have done that easily in studio environment. Why would I make it look like a studio work? And also it's way harder when you're outside doing photo shoots. So I would say just embrace the environment and try to look for interesting shadow, and just try to make depth in your photos. Don't make it super flat, but also that's kind of a artistic choice if that's what you're looking for. But I will always like to have a little bit contrast in my photo, so I always look for that highlight and shadow area. So here's some examples. Alright, here's a tip when you're shooting an overcast day. Because I shoot both digital and I shoot film, I had to make it clear. When I'm talking about film now, I shoot primarily negatives, no matter it's color negatives or black and white negatives. But I'm not talking about transparency film. They are a totally different story. But yeah, when I'm shooting negatives, I always try to overexpose it a little bit. Let's say if I meter with my digital camera, I would pretty much always, I would give it a half stop or another stop of light to overexpose my film a little bit. That's because due to the nature of film, they are really super tolerated in highlight area, but for the shadow, if you don't give it enough light, there will be completely noisy clusters in that shadow area, and that's just not, like, at this stage I don't like that look. So I try to retain the shadow details, and I know that due to the characteristic of the film, I got to reserve the highlight details within the same frame. Thankfully for my Minotla X500, there's a built-in light meter, so I'll see the readings and I would try to overexpose it a little bit, and it gives me a pretty good result. Except, you know, it's pretty much a it's a manual focusing camera, so yeah, I missed some shot. But with more practicing, you'll get better. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.